The last time when we played versus Complexity, they had a sub, ManCloud. I know how it feels like to not have a full roster, and when you're having to use subs and you're always trying to get scrim practice in, they're going to be a team that hasn't had that much practice with their full roster, so we'll see how it goes.
The North American LCS and our next match of the day, Counterlogic Gaming versus Complexity. Last time we saw CLG in action, they were off to a strong start and had Cloud9 on the ropes, but then suffered a heartbreaking loss, if you will.
Yeah, that was particularly surprising because they led in gold for the majority of the game. At just 22 minutes, CLG were up 7,000 gold, but were unable to finish strong. And CLG often rely on those coordinated map movements to outplay their opponents, moving from objective to objective. And the new guy on Complexity may be able to help them deal with this type of team, because he has brought a lot more vision to the team, laying down these deep wards to give the team information on their opponents before the opponents are able to make those moves.
Yeah, CLG may also be tripped up by a little good old-fashioned overconfidence. Last time these teams faced off, CLG was playing a little faster and looser, if you will, than they do against other teams.
Yeah, they took a level 1 blue invade all the way under Complexity's second turret, starting that game off with a mad dash for first blood. And Complexity have managed upsets against teams that do take them for granted, like Cloud9 and Curse. You know, with Kez lending his shot-calling voice to Prollies, they've seen a lot of marked improvement in their late game shot calling, and they've been looking more disciplined and more focused as well. Absolutely.
We're going to get right into this one as our final game of the LCS Day Before Challenger. So let's check out the starting lineups. On the blue side, it's CLG. In the top lane is Seraph. It's going to be Dexter in the jungle as they're chatting it up. Link in the mid lane in the middle of that conversation. Double Lift on AD and Afromu on support.
And on the red side, we've got Complexity. Up top, Westrice. In the jungle, Kez. Mid, Prolly. AD carry, Robert X. Lee. And supporting, Bubba.
Get some waves from the teams as they gear up and get ready, man and machine, all one as they head on to the Rift. It's going to be quite a matchup, as we've seen and said. Complexity, we heard from the other team that it might be different because they haven't had time to scrim, but they've showed, even with subs, they can come out on top of games.
Yeah, Complexity, I mean, they're working great with Kez. The shot calling and the wards, it's something that you can see improving their game. It's it's been such a different game that they're actually playing nowadays, just by bringing him into the table. It's actually been a very good thing for them, mixing things up.
Different voices have provided a lot for different teams. Coaches, now TSM bringing over Loco Doco. We've talked about Dignitas adding another one onto this season. The outside looking in perspective has always seemed to at least give the teams the momentum they need for at least a few wins, or good enough for a 7-game run that'll put you back in the standings. Complexity would love to have something like that happen as we're getting ready to jump into Champion Select. We see the players getting their fingers ready, getting warmed up, and Champion Select, as usual, and even more so today, has just been dictating the games right off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw in the last game how jungler focus can really determine how the game's going to be played out. They're like, okay, well, we're both going to go with carry junglers, and we'll see who can carry harder. We'll exchange ganks and just who's able to play it out better in the mid game. Mid game has become so crucial. It's these split seconds that are determined by one person getting picked. You know, just small amounts of crowd control and a couple split second decisions are determining these games. This one, though, I expect a little bit more focus on the top lane. Everybody's excited. They want to see Westrice Rengar, because he has been able to carry the team.
Finally gets the cat
many times before, and a lot of people have been leaving Rengar open. Nobody's really banning it.
That's right.
Now the thing is, in the top lane, he doesn't have any matchups that he really wins. So you have to be very good on the champion. As Crumb said, you have to put a lot of time into it.
You can't just go and play it.
Yeah, you can. Well, you can just go and play it. You can have pretty good success if you just charge up all of your Fury stacks and then ult, and you spam Q when you jump in on an AD carry. The only key thing that you do really have to remember, though, is charging up all those Fury stacks before you ultimate. Because now, the extra Fury generation is after you come out of this stuff. So you kill one with your first, and then the extra regeneration after lets you get another target.
Let's see what they have for each other in the bans. Last time these two teams met, it was Evelynn, Shyvana, and Lucian that was banned out against CLG. Kassadin, Yasuo, Lee Sin on the other side. So you can tell Complexity was not on that red side. Now switching it up, we got some early wave clear that Nidalee and Morgana again find herself on the ban list quite a bit.
Yeah, they're just There are so many weird picks that you have to worry about when you're placing complexity. If you're Counter Logic Gaming, maybe you don't worry about them though, because Brawler will play, Annie mid. He'll play pretty much whatever he wants mid. And as we said, Westrice also has a very weird champion pool. He's played Garen on purpose.
Right.
Not many people can say that. They've played Garen in a competitive match. But yeah, he's a very diverse
This is true.
fellow as well. And then, of course, Bubba as you just saw on your screen, he would love to pick up Braum just because it works well with his in-game and out-of-game appearance.
I think Aframu should get a mustache.
Yeah?
Yeah. Just cuz.
Just get one, a fake one. I think that
Sure. Why not?
You could grow a real one, but fake ones are much better.
All right.
Because you can just take it off when you're done. You're not stuck with it. Like Kiwi Kid, he's got a bowl cut. He's stuck with that.
Yep.
All right, 3 main junglers banned out, though. The Jarvan did get through. Dexter definitely has put some time in on Jarvan as well, so they could try and snatch up that one if they feel that's a key 4th jungler. But I really think that Jarvan is on a similar level to a lot of the other ones left up, and it's not a really first pick priority. There's so many other things, like Jax is up, like Twisted Fate and all these. There's so many mid laners that are up right now, actually. Not an early Twisted Fate would be a bad idea, but...
how about an early Braum? Keep him in the 100%
no Bubba Up stash lord.
Yeah, he doesn't get to rock the stash. Aframu knows he took that away. But they take away Double Lift's Lucian.
I've seen so many teams prioritize Lucian over Braum when posed with this first round choice of either of the two for the bottom lane. But CLG put more importance on the Braum.
AD carries have held high importance today as well. Gonna remember Wild Turtle's first Corki pick, and this is another AD carry denial as Westrice first picks their Lucian. Yeah,
I mean, while Double Lift really does value Lucian, and of course he values it as the top when there are other choices available, as we've seen. Twitch definitely prominent, especially with Braum. The fact that you can stealth up on someone to ambush them, but also have Braum be able to dash to you then and say, I've got a giant shield in my face as well, means there's no rebuttal for whoever Twitch challenges.
Right.
If you have Braum jumping right back onto Twitch after he pops out, there's no way you're going to stand and fight that. You have to run. And it makes it really hard because Braum's right there stunning you up.
Gotta remember all the way back to MLG, Westrice with FX Open, there was that Twitch game he had where he picked Rengar, and I forgot who it was against, but he made that Twitch's life miserable. The cat and the mouse. We'll see if he goes for it this time. It'll be quite far down the line if he gets that pick in. But we will see what Probably has for the crowd. And it could be an Orianna, and it is a bit of a long-range ball delivery system.
Another Nocturne as well. High priority as far as the lower tier junglers go. We'll see how well Kez is able to make use of this one. Because Nocturne definitely does need a bit more intensive farming. People who are just used to playing these top tier junglers that are strong early game regardless and spend a lot of money on wards there. As we saw in the last game, Crumb spent a lot of time, hard farming very early on. And then once he hit 6 is really the time where he started imposing his will on the lanes and getting those ganks down. We'll see if Kez is actually going to make that happen as well, because it's the same lane he'll be ganking for. A Lucian Thresh.
Yep.
Everybody's happy about going into that duo.
Yeah, if Kez plays it like Crumbs did, very safe, even though the lanes were ganking. Still came back in the end. We're going to get a Vi coming in here for Dexter. It's been a bit since he played that lane. Remember that back in the Battle of the Atlantic and a few times since, but it's been the Elise, it's been Kha'Zix, it's been different. Not that Vi.
Really, really happy with Vi, one of my favorite champions in the game, just because it's so satisfying to punch, but also very satisfying for CLG. This combo with Vi and Braum is a very strong engage. Even if Seraph is not able to get the best flank with Shyvana, they can go right up the middle with that combo. And there's so much diving power with the Braum, Vi, and Shyvana that they can take pressure off of Twitch. And with Link able to ult him, even if Nocturne does dive in there, Twitch may have an okay time. Ooh, they add in another diver though. There's the combo of Jax plus Nocturne.
West Rice gets Jax in this matchup. Last time they faced, it was a Shyvana versus Jackson. It was in Seraph's hands, so we'll see what West Rice can do with that pickup this time. Seraph has been on that Shyvana before. He kind of revolves around the 4 champions of Aurelia, Shyvana, Renekton, and now I'm going to forget Jax. Yeah, I just said it. That's one. So we'll see what he can do in the top lane. We've kind of not pointed fingers to the top lane, but are still waiting for Seraph to do more than keep himself safe. Be a big initiator for the team and not kind of fumble in initiation. We'll see if he can get in there. And that Chronologic Gaming has definitely been ironing out any mistakes they have. They're the team that kind of presents the low kill, we just control the map game that's actually quite intense.
Yeah, and we'll see if Complexity can actually strike backs and win one for the Jax players now.
That's right.
Because we've had two Jax defeats even after having good starts. So it's all on West Rice shoulders.
That's right. And so as we load onto the Rift and the teams storm the front doors to get into each other's base, let's see who's gotten more votes on LOLesports.com. And it's a pretty big 90% of you are calling this game for Counter Logic Gaming. Even with Complexity's semi-recent success in different areas of the game. Remember, you can update your vote with each gank and team fight by tweeting either hashtag CLGwin or hashtag COLwin to @LOLesports. Your votes count, and they are updated in real time on the bottom of our screen during the game. And maybe even some of your tweets at the game will be shown as well, so you can tell your friends.
Those are always fun to have those come in late game, especially from
the pros. And they're usually pretty funny.
All right, well, let's see if they can do it this time around. Complexity, they do have that Jax split push. Hasn't been able to get going for really anybody yet.
We'll see what they have. Final game of the day. These guys have been chomping at the bit here for the LCS. Don't forget to stay for the Challenger Series matchups. It'll be quite crazy games as we get tighter and tighter towards the end of the seasons here. And 2.4K to start off. Everybody's even. Go figure. As we make our way onto the map. Still got some Aframu pulling out the mana pop for himself. Maybe a little bit more harass on that bottom lane, or the attempt to get a fight going. Oh, baby, we got a level 1 party. Aframu gets hit up. He gets the heal, but he's the first one to go down. Bubba coming up with first blood, and it's going to be some ball movement for extra vision. You can see if Bubba has any more for himself. Looks like that was the flay damage there. I don't see if I'm going to get any hooks.
Big counter-strike there from West Rice. Coming up big. Now, usually we'll be like, oh no, first blood went to the support. However, he's also started with that Ruby Crystal, so he's looking for an early Sightstone. Super, super early start to the...
Oh no, he has Hook.
Yeah, Hook comes in. They also ignited. We'll take a look at the Summoners spent on that first blood as well. Just the Ignite and the heal burn for Complexity.
Very nice.
In exchange for the Ignite and heal of CLG.
And that's huge. Pink Ward to start off in the bottom lane. Assist across the board. Team kind of penta to start it off.
Yeah,
Very
well,
nice.
the early kill, if the assist is split 4 ways, it's pretty small change for everybody else. But the Pink Ward's huge.
Oh, no.
Can he get another one?
Bad news bears. There's the stun. Oh, he flashes the hook. Double lift with the fast fingers. Keeps himself alive. And really from just bad things happening.
You know, that is a great trade for Complexity.
Oh, yeah.
Another big win for them. Oh, they're just going to face check this one.
Not much you're going to get out of that.
Now, it's a big win for them because West Rice is going to spend a lot of this time probably double jungling. Wow, they back off of it here. They don't have vision. There's a collapse. Another 5-on-5.
A flash
Another
again.
flash blown.
Wow.
Is the red buff gone? Oh, it's still under contest.
Bubba. These hooks aren't hitting, but they're blowing everything. Dexter gets it back. See if he actually has time to clear this as well. He really won't be that bad off on this. And it looks like Complexity wastes a bit of their own time after getting a kill. They do have Pink Wards to start out with, though, so the map control should be in their favor here. To begin the match, West Rice teleports to top lane. Seraph does the same, and we are finally underway after that level 1 back and forth.
Great presence of mind there from Dexter to recognize the smite coming in from Kez. He did not blow it early at all. Waited for the exact number. Kez just rushed it down a little bit. Miscalculation there. And Dexter comes away with his own red. So he's going to be very happy with that. And Complexity's early start comes to a halt here.
Seems like we got a little clockwork wind-up auto attackage going in here from Prolly onto Link with some ball movement to add extra damage. So even with that flash, or with that flash down, I should say, and the heal up. Uh-oh, Aframu, one link there, could be going down a second time. The 2 shots aren't enough from Robert X. Lee, and double lift putting up the dukes here as he stands toe-to-toe with 2 of them in bot lane.
Thing is, though, Aframu also has a Targon, so he can help heal up.
Right.
If he can get to the minion line. He really wants that cannon minion. He's probably going to have to use a Q for it. Ooh, and then give it over to double lift. But yeah, so he has the Targon charges he can also rely on to heal back up if he gets focused down like that. Whereas Bubba going early Sightstone, just going to have to rely on his biscuits.
That's a hook there we're looking for. Gets the piercing light. Robert X. Lee tries to deny vision. Great shield coming in, but he puts himself in the brush. He is going to be going down. Double lift may be able to get the kill on Bubba too. He's going to be taking shots. Does he have the slow? There's one. He's going to get locked up. They blow the flash. It cannot get Dexter there in time. He will be there. They hook him in. A great kill for Bubba. The poison won't be enough. What a play from him.
Wow, Bubba salvaging a kill out of that for them. Really, really big pickup. He wasn't able to get another assist down for Robert because it took too long. But however, they were able to salvage something. Let's see what Kez can do seeing Dexter. You know, anytime you get information on the enemy jungler in lane early in the game, especially, need to make them pay for it. This is the problem with focusing Aframu. They just do everything early, and then he saves his shield to the last second. Stun goes off, so they catch him in the end of the brush there, and even though he's got healed, double lift can finish him off. Here's the problem, though. A little bit too far there from Dexter. Great flash from Bubba, by the way, to get out of that. That would have been another stun onto him. Hook lands at barely the right time. It came out just in time and drags him right barely into turret range. Just so close to going fully in CLG's favor, but Bubba pulls it back.
Great plays from Prolly, really putting on the dissonance auto attack damage in mid lane. Link known to be a very high velocity roamer, but it looks like he's being stuck to the mid lane right now. Whenever he plays Ziggs, you'll see him do the level 5 roam on Ziggs, where everybody thinks he's backing. Link knows he's just trying to get more kills. Not this time, though. Complexity with the 500 gold lead, they usually do pretty well when they get off to a good start.
All that gold has been really funneled into Bubba, though.
That's true.
He got the second kill there by himself. So it's really going to be all on Complexity's vision game coming from that bottom lane. Can Bubba make use of this early gold that he's gotten? Early Sightstone, and he's picked up a second pink ward if that one in the bush does go down. How well can he actually control the vision, though? Because he is actually pinned down to the bottom lane for this early game. He can't really leave Robert alone to go roam too much early with the threat of that buy. So we'll see how deep he can get. Kez is going to pick up the slack in the meantime until they can buy Bubba a pass out of the bottom lane and let him roam.
It's a good back and forth. Seraph trying to get the damage onto Westrice before Westrice just becomes a beast. There's nothing Seraph can do. A few more shots back. You were just saying those wards in the bottom lane. Luckily for Bubba, that first pink ward wasn't cleared, so they have some good control still, even getting pushed out of the lane. They can stay safe here. Now back in the position they want with an even higher pink ward as well. They're safe from pretty much everything in the bottom lane. 46-38. We've seen what happens when Robert X. Lee can get a bit of a lead. He is only an assist now to the kill of double lift, but still enough for Robert to kind of take off in the game. We'll see what he can do. His back was the double Dorans. Double lift's already on the way to getting that Blade of the Rune King. Yeah, double lift definitely has more power in lane right now. Since he can sustain with that Vamp Scepter. You know, Dexter's hovering around bottom and he has that level 6, so I'm very curious to see if they can actually start something off with Braum. Braum can dash to his own minions, so this Complexity bottom lane have to be wary about standing next to those melees. If you get too close and let Afro close that distance, very easy for him to combo and get one of those stuns off. Dexter, you know, comes over for a lane bank, but then goes back to farm his double golems, seeing as how no action is taking place. Nocturne, not quite level 6 here, since he hasn't been able to participate in that extra kill experience that Dexter has and the lane that he was able to feed off of. I feel like it's going to be quite explosive dragon fight we have here, especially with the control that Dexter and Link can put on a big fight. And then you got to watch out for Prolly's Shockwave. All depends on how the lanes are doing at the time of whoever wants Dragon. 8 minutes so far, so it's going to be getting close as the blue buffs are traded off. Complexity is going to be ready here. Robert Exley and Bubba Dub have had successful time pushing Afromu and Doublelift into the turret since they've been back here.
Now, if he could make his way into that bush, then it would be a good gank for Vi, but he doesn't want to wait around that long. And Dexter gives up on that lane. With a couple failed, you know, attempts bottom, or just some time wasted bottom, it's about time to, you know, change direction there for Dexter.
Yep.
This Jax is having pretty much a free farm up top. Westrice getting off to a very good start here. Early Cutlass already completed. So a Jax getting out of control up top while Dexter focuses bottom. Might want to put a stop to that.
We'll see what Kez can do for the team still. Seeing him come in as a sub, we've kind of seen Complexity shaky from week to week with all of their subs. Not the easiest way to start a season, especially with the high caliber of play from all the other teams. They're faring all right, definitely proving themselves here so far against Counterlogic Gaming.
Yeah, and let's give Westrice credit for this up top too.
Yeah.
He had to burn his summoners for all of the early game shenanigans. And, you know, as I said, sharing an assist with 4 other people, a first blood assist, you know, that early in the game is not much money. That's not going to afford him an advantage in lane. So he had to burn his flash and his teleport to get up there early. So it wasn't like he came in with a huge advantage in this. It was a pretty even to start it off. Now he's got very deep vision coverage. So, you know, sometimes Westrice does fall victim to those mid-game ganks where he gets a little aggressive and overextends, but I really like his deep ward over behind that turret. Dexter, though, slips in behind Dragon, trying to take advantage of the recall time of the bottom lane from Complexity, and they do get it.
Yeah. Little lax on the side of Complexity there. With the amount of wards they have, they thought that would have been enough, but wait a minute, back and forth, one more bite! Oh my gosh, they both turn out of the chicken fight. And it's going to be about 10 HP on both sides now, regenning as they chug the potions. That was very close.
Good
both
fight.
players knowing
Good
their limits.
Fight. Yeah, very, very good fight there. Extremely even. Problem is, for Seraph, Westrice is able to stay in lane. He's got sustain. He's got a Cutlass. You know, he can lifesteal back up, so he's going to get that extra wave. Even though their duel was pretty much even, Westrice stays, gets another wave, and he will be able to teleport back to lane 2.
I'm going to say that teleports down if Westrice decides to say maybe this turns into a gank somewhere, but with Dragon down, there's no much pressure to be gained after a big gank. So everybody's back. Everybody's back to farming.
Now, this ward in the river might not have seen Kez come around through this bush. So let's see. Oh, they turn something around bottom. Yeah, after that last wave, Westrice comes right back. Now he's got the upper hand. No more even duels.
Westrice all upside Seraph's head, but there's Dexter comes in. Salt and Battery, the Vault Breaker, they open it up. Is there gold inside? Oh no! Wow, that was close. That was close.
Great decision there. Dexter does not go for the auto attack finish. His Counter-Strike is up. Cues him to finish it off. Westrice got a little confident. If he had kept running in a straight line and not got back in for the Counter-Strike stun,
Quickest way away from your opponent.
might have been able to get out. But he was counting on the ability not being back up for Dexter. Dexter was able to get right through Counter-Strike with the Vault Breaker.
And Doublelift was down a little bit in CS, but then go ahead, add Afros. Well, I guess that's added still, so 97 to 99 as he's catching back up. 16,000 in gold, just about 500 down actually since they're halfway there. Mobility boots on Bubba Dub. He said, you're going to give me this much gold, I'll try to still make plays and hooks. Let's also be safe against Braum play in the bottom lane.
I mean, let's talk about Kez for a bit too, because he hasn't been able to make anything happen. Dexter just got kill up top using his ulti.
Dragon
but
and kill up top.
Kez has really just been hard farming. He's been putting down a couple of wards on the bottom side jungle of CLG, but really he's just been spending time trying to farm up.
And that was almost the same thing that that Crumbs did, but Crumbs was then almost on the back of every counter gank to make it work.
Yeah, as soon as Crumbs hit level 6, getting the ulti, started trying to put some pressure down. Kez not able to make anything happen bottom, so he turns his attention towards the jungle once again. Plenty of wards around Dragon though. Maybe they won't have to give up the second one.
Just wondering what CLG will use to make their next move. A good pink ward coming in from Link towards the top side of the red, and it looks like he's going to meander now to the top side with Seraph. Westrice is like, why is he still chasing? That's why. Lulu coming in. The wild growth is there as Westrice kind of alley-oop to his leap strike, but it's not enough to get him out.
So I talked about that mid-game focus on Westrice being a problem for him.
Yeah.
It is a problem once again, even though he prepared this time and he had deep wards and
Right.
you're not able to deal with the roam from Link there. They just pile it on. Very, very smart from CLG to continue to attack that Jax mid-game while his flash is down. He's not getting far away from Seraph right now. Actually behind in gold after those consecutive ganks and due to that global gold stacking up for CLG.
Nicely played as well, as we were saying, by Link. It was good timing. Probably missed some CS in the mid lane as he went to get his blue. And it's only been Link's chance to get out of lane and roam, so he made hit count and he needed to. Brings their kill score to 3-2. Good dodge from Double Lift as he throws down the Venom cast, but it's not going to be enough to deter this. Turret's going to go down. Complexity going to answer with a bit of gold because Westrice, top lane, trying to get that lane 1, but he's having some trouble.
Question is, what does CLG do if Westrice deep freezes that top lane? Right now, they've got pretty good wards down in the red side jungle of Complexity, so Seraph can actually extend up there and at least get experience and exchange a little bit of farm with Jax, as long as he doesn't get chased down when Jax completes his Blade of the Ruin King. But really, Westrice actually going to try and catch the head.
This is CLG really trying to get themselves in. Good wardage from both sides. You have Lulu coming in for safety. This could be bad for Complexity here with Link just on the outside. But it looks like Complexity closed in a little bit faster. Now Aphromoo is on the backside. It's going to be a very tight fight. Westrice on the front line with Grandmaster on, but he cannot get any more hits in. So slow from the Aphromoo abilities. Probably still trying to chase as well. The dissonance was used there. The catch-up ability is pretty much gone as both teams disengage. Losing Dexter on that one. He was the one to steal the red.
There's the ult from Kez. Finally, all that jungle farm comes to fruition right there. He's able to get the answer kill and double buffs for Prawley, who's a beast right now. He's been in command of the mid lane here with a pretty big CS lead over Link due to the roaming, and now he's got double buffs to work with. After the purchase, let's see if Complexity can make that translate into a dragon, because dragon coming up 20 seconds. They would like to actually make use of this. They've just hit a Blade of the Ruin King on Jax too. Perfect timing for that. Big power spike for him. He can go back top and rely on the teleport threat to go for the dragon, or he can come to dragon and then teleport up top to try and save the wave once Seraph pushes it in.
So many options.
If he goes for this option though, they're under a timer. You can't dilly-dally around dragon and just let Seraph bang on that top turret. You have to make a tough choice here and force it. Looks like they are going to waste no time to start it right up. Westrice does not want to tank it for the reduced damage. Teleport comes in.
Outside. Oh, Dexter with the steal. Very nice. Able to get out, actually into the fight even more. Assault and Battery and Vault Breaker goes down. Kez is instantly out. His ult's not even there, so the vision cannot be denied. Westrice and team trying to run a good place, a great place dissonance, I should say, to slow down the team. Seraph tries to power through. Another Vault Breaker coming through, trying to knock somebody down. A fist from Dexter is going to help set up a kill, actually, for Prawley as they went too deep. Looks like they're trading back and forth. Prawley low on mana. Bubba trying to do what he can as well to take down Link. Getting a little antsy from CLG here as they pressure the mid turret.
Couple of mistakes there to follow up their pretty big win around Dragon. Does cost Seraph his life and Link a large chunk of health. See if Dexter can get out of this one. Bubba on the chase with mobility boots.
Yep, those mobility boots are going to be a good buy. Link, no, the blue buff. You did not want to give that to somebody else. It goes to Westrice. Double kill for Westrice. Maybe they do give it to him. That Empower shot's going to be more than Robert X Lee can put out for the time being. Good kills for Westrice to get right now in the game.
That's a really big turnaround. Now, CLG made a good play there with the teleport down from Seraph. Yeah, let's take a look at the fight.
One more time.
Seraph teleports down. Hook dodged there by Double Lift. And Kez does not have his ulti, by the way. Kez doesn't do anything in this fight. He gets annihilated there and isn't even able to add that utility of the ulti since they used it defending their red. And CLG do a good job not only stealing that dragon, but getting that kill, then they overpress, make several mistakes in succession to give that lead right back to Complexity. So it's a very even game here. And Westrice, since he was the recipient of a lot of that comeback gold, definitely all eyes are going to be turned towards him, looking for him to carry this one. Blue buff is a very big asset for Jax. Definitely a spell-based carry here, not just auto attack. Yeah. People are always worried about the Jax auto attacks. They don't take into account the amount of damage that comes from having that cooldown reduction and spamming out both the Leaf Strike and the Empowered Strike.
Right. Well, it looks like Dexter wants to try and match that. A second item Triforce for his buy. Looks like it's what's going to be the buy there. Been a lot about damage builds today, Kobe.
Yeah. Everybody going full damage once again here. Relying on CC towards that mid game.
Oh, someone hit it. There we go. Caster minions OP. 19 minutes on the clock. 6-6. Just about 2,000 gold is what Complexity's looking to make up.
Take a look at that. Take a look at that red buff twitch. Even though
Robert's like, I sense something's wrong.
Yeah, even though there's a pink ward there, he's got a red buff.
Yep.
4 pink wards down on the bottom side, 4 Complexity, by the way, and Double F still pulls off an assassination. All credit where it's due there. Westrice, though, this has been the story for the last 3 games. A strong Jax pretty early on, able to exert his will, takes down the turret. Is at the point where it's very dangerous for Seraph, because even though Seraph is building all this armor, you know, he doesn't have the attack speed reduction of going with the Randuins, and he doesn't have, there's a lot of magic damage that's well from Jax, and so much mixed damage that Westrice can really rip right through him, especially now that he has the Phage to be able to stick on to Seraph and chase him down if he gets out of line.
Kaz looking to clean it up. Like we said, Kaz, one of the voices with Prolly as he came back to the team from being out on his little few game hiatus as ManCloud stepped in. Last time these teams faced it was ManCloud in the middle. So CLG now facing off against the shot caller of Prolly with Broken Shard out this time. It's worked for him a few games, but Complexity still looking to round out a composition. This one was hard with the standard lane matchup going against what is the best bot lane in NA right now, Doublelift and Alphamu, them coming out on top, 198 to 175 at 201. And Doublelift, we can see, starting to put on the pressure with a few Twitch kills in the 1v1 recently. So they're starting to feel more comfortable, but we also saw that cause a bit of problem at the last Dragon fight. So it's got to be calculated.
Yeah, Doublelift with a double blade build now, both completed. He's at full assassination potential. I mean, not only does it give you the extra burst to be able to use while your ultimate is on, but it also gives you that flat armor penetration, and all the targets that you're really looking to assassinate are these low armor targets. The Orianna, the Lucian, the Thresh even right now, with all these Threshes rushing towards the mobility, the Talisman of Ascension. Very squishy as well.
Well, let's kind of pay attention to that word that everybody's saying now. CLG has the map opened. Where are they going to move? Where is the now positioning of them and their rotation? How's it going to work? We'll see what they do. Right now, clearing out some pink wards, and they're really setting up something that cannot be defended by Complexity as they group 5 now to the bot.
So Afterward does get hooked in, but they just go straight for the dive.
Yeah, there's the visual denial, or the vision denial, if you will. Kez has to be backed off on this one. Very low, gets the summoner heal. The shield's still ticking. Oh, the Venom takes him down in the end after all of those summoner spells. Seraph, yeah, a little too deep on that one. Can't get out with the rest of the team. They feel like it's safe to go in now. One after the other. It looks a little grim, but they've already taken down 4. Westrice doing what he can to clean up the rest, but only with a turret at his side now. He stares down Lincoln and Doublelift.
And they're cutting off his supply lines too. He can't get out, so he's got to maneuver around this. Oh, he loses the stun.
Throws on the Whimsy to Link to dodge in and out. Breaks the ankles on the counter-strike. 22.5 minutes in. The turret is theirs after the loss of 3. What a bloody battle just for the bottom.
Dragon should also probably be theirs.
Yeah.
These two can easily take that dragon while we go over this replay of the hectic fight.
Aframu says, yeah, grab me.
Yeah, so Aframu gets grabbed in, they immediately go for the dive.
That's
teleport does come in, but here's where it gets crazy. Westrice charges the team, and Seraph comes in from the back. The rest of the team immediately tries to follow up that dive. What? Okay, so that was the dragon action. And we're talking about them. They both did go for the dragon, but Kez trying to stop it.
Are you really that safe, Double Lift? Link on the outside, they say go for it. Let's try to make this happen. Think they may have bit off a little more than they can chew. Maybe just Double Lift. Robert X Lee from the outside. Afro, who does not have the shield. A great help picks coming in to take down Bubba on that one. And it looks like they may start to clean up even more when it looks like CLG is down and out from a fight. They are just ready to come back for more. After that 4 kill, they were back to buy, and they want even more after doing their shopping. Kez gets a punch to the back. That's going to be a kill. Robert actually the twin bite from Seraph to come out, and the flame breath. And CLG has just taken control of the game.
Yeah, it goes from bad to worse for Complexity there. CLG get back
4 kill fights in a row.
Quicker. Double Up just finishes off that pink ward in time too, but a great hook from Bubba Dub there makes that. He's going to go down no matter what. Now, instead of backing off here, they go for another hook. He goes back in. Bubba Dub dies as well. And Seraph, joining the battle this time, is able to get there since he still has his teleport up, whereas Westerice had to use his in the last battle. So CLG, with the teleport advantage, Complexity picking another fight while they have less mobility in their team. Their tank's not able to join the fight. Seraph cleans up another kill. Great answer there from Seraph.
Slow and methodical now. Chronologic Gaming knows they're in the lead. Going to try to push Complexity into something they want nothing of. Let's see if they can do that with the wards here, since it might be just barren.
Now, that last, it seemed really chaotic down there with the last couple fights at bottom turret and then dragon. But that's because that's actually CLG's plan. Coming into this, they don't have siege, and they don't want to try and siege and wait around at a turret because Westerice is just going to out-split push them. So they're immediately looking to force something anyway. If Afro gets hooked in, that's not bad for them at all. He's the giant tank. He's going to want to soak up a lot. He's trying to put up the shield and take damage anyway. So that was pretty much all according to CLG's plan. Definitely, regardless of getting hooked under the turret. Seraph was already there in position anyway, and they really capitalized well on that dive. Even though it's not exactly the way you want to start off the dive, it made it work very well, and Complexity trying to rush after it really turned against them. So CLG's comp here working the map very well. Don't want to siege up around turrets, take up another neutral objective, while Complexity do not want to fight them straight up.
Talking a little bit about Aframu. The Braum play fitting him quite well.
Whoa!
Front line, whoa! Probably to the back line, and he gets dunked down under his own turret. Aframu jumps into the fight. He is just loving the tankiness of his champion on Braum. Kez is now going to have Seraph under the armpits. They're going to go ahead and take him home. And it looks like they go ahead into the base, not even worrying about turrets. They blurred them out. They're going to go ahead and take these down. 26 minutes on the clock, 20-11. CLG has full control of this game right now.
And that's what the dive from this team comp looks like when you don't start it off with a hook and with people a couple seconds behind. Really, really strong open from Double Lift right there. Under the turret, pops everything. Ghostblade and ulti annihilates both carries from Complexity. It was really just the perfect opportunity for Double Lift. He saw both carries lined up and he just took the shot. Great job by CLG, everyone in position to capitalize on it immediately too. Dexter, Afro jumping right in, and then Seraph joining after as well.
The whole team really pushing forward their lead right now, and you can see that Dexter believed they had that quite early. Now he's starting to build some defense, but the damage he has been able to build. We saw 0 out Prolly with just a few prior attacks from the rest of the team. A help picks at a Glitter Lance, and that's all they needed to pretty much shut down the max crowd control in the fight. Bubba wasn't there to throw down a wall at the time, and if they can have Complexity scattered like that in each one of these fights, CLG is going to just methodically walk into the base as usual and take it all. They're a team that's known to go from your inhibitor to inhibitor and take all 11 turrets in the game.
Yeah, coming into this, the main thing on my mind was how are CLG going to pull off these dives against Nocturne, who's going to deny vision to the team. But if CLG are this compact and this coordinated on their dives, and it doesn't matter if they don't actually have the vision for the rest of their teammates, because all 3 of these guys go in at the same time. All right, split push here. Let's see if they can.
Oh, triple kill coming in for Double Lift in the bottom side. You saw them planning it. They kept throwing the Whimsy onto Double Lift. 5 seconds of speed up, and especially coming out of that invisibility, he is going to be a monster. Look at that shield, about 600 HP just from the Shield of Help picks. He is safe. They're in the base, and they're looking at Nexus turrets, Kobe.
Yeah, that's Siobhan. Oh, wow, Dexter even solos Westrice.
Well, Westrice came out of the brush to fight him. Now this game of cat and mouse is turned around the other way, just on the edge. Gets him on the tail side. In the 1v1, Dexter finds the kill, and his team is in the base finding the Nexus. Chronologic Gaming is going to take down Complexity 28-25.
Very satisfied with their gameplay this time around. They were able to execute that comp extremely well. Yeah, Kansas go up from double lift. It was as expected for them. Those dives just ended so quickly for them. They didn't even have Dexter that time around. Right. A level 16 buy, which you think would be crucial for that
tower dive.
A little necessary
to get past the turret.
Just takes the Shyvana Braum combo.
Double S and Aframu putting a hurting down in the bottom lane. We saw Robert and Bubba Dub pick up, like you said, a few early kills, but that gold, unfortunately, a little too focused on the Bubba Dub. 2 quick kills early for him. Went to Moby Boost to try and activate more, but it's Double Lift and Aframu, arguably the best North American bot lane, and it's hard to shut down. They started rolling, and that just gives the rest of the team time to do whatever. We saw Dexter straight Lizard into Triforce. He was putting out damage too, getting the dunks in.
Yeah, so many junglers transitioning towards carry styles here.
Right.
With the Nocturne and the
Crumbs, Lizard into Yomu's
coming out. Now, just like that, North American LCS Day 1 here already comes to a close. We still have Challenger, but that was so fast, and so many Jax teams who actually focused on their Jax and got their Jax a good start were not able to split push to victory. It's really the story of all of these here.
There's a lot of focus from the junglers towards those top lanes too to kind of get something going. Just in the end, it never really formulated into what they wanted. It was very chaotic fight games today. A lot of all-around dragon fights that you thought would decide the game, and then something kind of would happen in error today. A lot of vision ward fights that really cost the game.
You said a lot of mistakes? Yeah, there were definitely a good many mistakes. A lot of pretty good picks too. And it was pretty action-packed towards that mid-game. A lot of the teams, as you said, since they were running with these Jack split push comps, their opponents were just running picks, and they were trying to force fights.
That's always good when they force fights. It makes the games good for us, and we actually had a lot of fights today. Good kills, but for more on CLG's win, we're going to right now send it down to Jet on the stage.
Thanks for having. I am with Double Lift, the 9-1-7 Twitch that had a pretty good game. I think that was your score as well. Starting from the very start of that game, picks and bans. A lot of junglers banned out, but you guys got the first pick Braum. How did that impact your game?
Well, when we watched the other teams play Braum, we thought that it might get to our head because he didn't look that OP. He looked actually kind of like a normal support. But we know that when Afro's on a support like Braum, he's just going to carry the game. So even though he died at level 1, he was super impactful throughout the game, and we just think Braum is super OP, and it turned out really well for us.
Yeah, well, he was 100% picked today in North America. It wasn't even banned, actually. But specifically going up against Complexity, you guys have had some close-looking games against them, especially some big-time fights early. Do you approach Complexity games a little differently than other teams?
I'm not going to say that we approached it more lightly, but I think we, subconsciously, we make a lot of decisions that we would normally not make in LCS against Cloud9 or TSM. In scrims, it reminds me a lot of scrims where you kind of test the waters a lot more than you would do in a real match. Against Complexity, I think we get a really big lead early always, and then we're just ooh, it's time to test some new stuff out.
Yeah, well, at least you managed to pop up on a few people with Twitch. Looking forward to tomorrow as well. You guys face the new look Evil Geniuses where Helios is now in the jungle. How are you going to be approaching that match?
Well, I've been told that Helios is their new shot caller. From the jungle position, it makes a lot of sense. He's coming from Korea. He's got a lot of competitive experience, 7 OGN seasons. But when I watch their game against LMQ, it seems like he doesn't know how to close out the game. It seems like, with a 7,000 gold lead, any decent team should be able to close out the game, especially against Nidalee Mid, who has no wave clear. But EG just seems to have a lot of problems closing out the game. It happened every single time they play against C9, actually. They have a really hard time with the 10K gold lead. So we're not scared of them at all because we know that even if we fall behind, we can still win.
That's really interesting. Don't take them too lightly, obviously, your opponents. Speaking of guys that come in from Korea, though, Seraph, receiving a fair bit of support and criticism on both sides. What's your opinion on how he's been doing, especially this last game?
Well, first off, I want to say that it's
partially our fault as teammates for hyping him up and saying, you know, like synergy, he's, you know, Sarah's coming to crush all you guys from Korea. That's like really unfair, and it puts an unrealistic expectation on him because he's not a superhuman. He's just like a normal player who's come from Korea, and he's having like, you know, he has troubles here and there with communication, with adapting to the team, just like any player would. And I think he's performed pretty well so far. Like he's not like spectacular carrying games 1-on-5, but you know, he's not like the reason why we lose. And when people blame him for our losses, it really gets to him because he's the new guy, and it really gets to his mentality. So it's sad to see the community act that way.
Well, I guess people can only blame you for losses because you are in fact superhuman, it says. Anyway, thank you very much for the interview, W. Congrats on your win. Let's send it back to the guys at the desk.
Thank you very much, Chad. So let's pull up the table and see how the teams stand at the end of another day of games. And first, once again, it's LMQ and Dignitas with only 2 marks against their record.
And 1 game back in third, it's CLG. Then Cloud9 and TSM share 4th place, and tied for last, it's Complexity, Evil Geniuses, and Curse.
But we'll be back again tomorrow with another full day of matches, starting with Curse taking on LMQ.
Then Complexity will square up against TSM, followed by Counterlogic Gaming versus Evil Geniuses.
And we'll see if Cloud9 can get a little rematch revenge when they battle Dignitas. Then in the North American Challenger Series, it's a best of 3 between Coast and Curse Academy. That action gets underway Sunday at high noon Pacific time, 9 p.m. Central European Summer Time. And as we throw it over to Freak and Zyrene for the North American Challenger Series semifinal action, let's take a quick look back at some of the highlights from today's epic action.
Da 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 da. You know you're gonna get hit by my cue.
What does the fox say?
Oh dear, there it is. It's going to be that extra magic damage coming out, and he is able to trickster over the wall. It's a turnaround somehow now. Cloud9 is getting shredded. There's the 1, there's the 2. A triple kill coming in for Wild Turtle.
I'm afraid to like make bad jokes because they'll be on all chat.
It's going to be a base race on both sides. LMQ versus Evil Geniuses. It knocks on to himself. Turret for turret. He flashes for the second. LMQ's doing what they can. He's trying to double back. Why did he stop? He stops. They cannot be stopped on that side. And it is going to be LMQ.
Have you ever built Bloodthirster on Teemo?
Yes.
How was it?
Not very good.
Okay. I'm glad we got that conversation out of the way.
A really juicy target for Iowa Dominate, and they go for the dive.
They go for the hit. He is not going to be on that side. No, he throws down the ult, goes right for Zion. He throws down the Wild Growth. The turret shot comes in.
It does cost an inhibitor.
Oh, the he gets in. It's special. Oh, he got himself killed as well.
What? Right now? Really? Apparently.
The Braum play fitting him quite well.
Whoa!
Front line. Whoa! Probably to the back line, and he gets dunked down under his own turret. Aframu jumps into the fight. He is just loving the tankiness of his champion on Braum. Kaz is now going to have Seraph under the armpits. They're going to go ahead and take him home.